My name is Danny Banchev. I'm the founder of the Off Porn Academy, and I struggled with porn addiction for 10 years of my life. The first time I ever watched porn was at 9 years old, and at the peak of it, I was jerking off to porn 5 times per day on average. It almost feels like I'm talking about a past life now or a different person, but it's true. I've cheated on girlfriends online, I've jerked off in public, hidden places like bathrooms, and I've even bleeded a few times. Now today I can proudly say I've managed to stay off porn for periods of more than a year in a row, to abstain from masturbation for months, and even to practice semen retention, so no sex, no ejaculation whatsoever, for weeks. And it's crazy to say, but it even feels easy now. And now with the perspective that I get to have, what I want to share with you today are 6 reasons why porn addiction is actually a gift and 4 steps to develop healthier coping mechanism. Here's the thing, as counterintuitive as it may sound, addiction recovery is the most beautiful process a human being could ever go through. It's truly a gift, but its packaging is so horrible. Most people never get to realize that truth. My purpose today is to do the best I can to share that perspective with you. So here are the 6 reasons why. Reason number 1, the comeback story effect. Our lives are like a hero's journey. We can't appreciate victory if we've never been defeated. We can't appreciate joy if we've never known suffering. Or what about freedom if we've never been stuck? That contrast is what allows life to be meaningful. Talking about meaning, number 2 is purpose. I have rarely seen someone breaking free from addiction not wanting to help others after. It's kind of like a non-written rule in the community. And from personal experience, that type of stuff gives you a lot of meaning. Number 3, discipline and self-awareness. Breaking free from addiction absolutely requires, it's like a non-negotiable, to develop these 2 skills. But then, can you name any area of life where discipline and self-awareness couldn't help you? That's literally one of the most valuable stuff you can ever develop in your character. Number 4, progress. Many of the top performance coaches in the world have always said that progress equals happiness, and I absolutely agree. The journey of recovery literally provides opportunities for continuous progress, which allows you to continuously experience this sense of happiness. I know it sounds so counterintuitive, but think about all the most successful people in the world. Most of them will tell you that actually achieving the goal wasn't even the best part of the journey. The best part was the come up. Direction is much more important than current location. Number 5, awakening. Addiction recovery kind of forces us, and we don't really have a choice, to notice how freaking self-destructive our thinking minds can become. It's like you make this decision to break free, and then you got this bitch inside of your head talking about like, oh, but one time won't hurt, right? And then you catch yourself saying, fuck you, and then you're like, wait, but that means I'm not my mind. If I can observe my mind and literally talk to it, that means that's not me. Whatever I can observe is not me. I am that thing that observes the mind, which we can call consciousness. And the crazy part is that once you get it, like when you truly get it, that you're not your mind, that's when you reach a new level of consciousness where love, joy, and peace are literally default states. That's right, they're literally inseparable from life itself. You can only know what I mean if you've experienced it. But the point is that addiction either breaks you or pushes you to greatness. There's kind of not really an in-between. So my purpose here is to make sure we're on the second side. Last but not least, number 6, coping mechanisms. This is the one we'll focus on for the rest of the video. Here's the thing you really gotta drill into your mind. Porn is nothing more than a coping mechanism. That's it. It's simply one of the most effective ways we've discovered to move towards pleasure and comfort and to escape, most importantly, discomfort and pain in the moment. And guess what? It works. The only problem is that it ends up creating even more consequences in the future, which creates a downward spiral where the more consequences it creates, the more you gotta escape from them, and so on. It's a cycle. So what's the solution? You literally must discover as many effective coping mechanisms as possible outside of porn. Guess what? When you do that, it also allows you to deal with other problems in your life much more effectively. This is why it's the 6th reason why addiction is a gift. I've made that mistake so many times. I would cut my number 1 coping mechanism, which was porn at that moment, for months without taking the time to replace it, pretending like everything is gonna be fine, until I realized that you can't just eliminate a coping mechanism. You gotta replace it with something better. We all cope somehow. Every single human being needs to have some kind of way to deal with their emotions. The only difference is that some of them are conscious, other unconscious, some of them actually benefit you on the long term, and some of them are destructive. So let me quickly walk you through the process of discovering the coping mechanism that will shrink porn into irrelevance. There are three categories of coping mechanisms: biological, psychological, and spiritual. For example, ejaculating is a biological coping mechanism, but so is working out. Flirting with girls on Snapchat is a psychological coping mechanism, but so is building a business. And in the spiritual stuff, meditation, prayer are all great examples. Now, the most effective coping mechanisms are those that are in your control and that are easy to access. The problem is that porn enters this category, but so does praying and meditating. You can pray at any moment of the day whenever you want to. It's completely free, same as meditation. On the other hand, expecting your favorite team to win or waiting for your paycheck to feel good are very bad examples. It must be obvious for you at this point that coping mechanisms can be very effective and destructive at the same time. Like drugs are the most extreme example of that. It's like they can provide the most amazing relief from stress and pain in the moment. Everything is beautiful, but the long-term consequences are devastating. The same thing applies to porn. So what we're aiming for are coping mechanisms that not only are effective in the short term, but they're also sustainable and healthy on the long term. We're looking for those that can provide sustainable joy and comfort. Now, the tricky thing about those and why most people actually choose the destructive ones is that it can be uncomfortable to build the habit at first. But guess what? If it was easy, everybody would do it. Do you want to be like everybody else, or do you want to be part of the 1%? If you're watching this video, I'm assuming you're like me and you have pretty high standards. So here are 4 steps to discover your greatest coping mechanism and break free for good. Number 1, super important. Uncover what feelings are you actually escaping from, and what feelings are you looking for with porn. Are you escaping boredom, stress, insecurity, shame? Are you looking for connection, inner peace, novelty, excitement, adventure? Really take the time to figure it out, because that will be the foundation for the rest of your journey. Number 2, quick hack. Identify other stuff in your life that allows you to escape those uncomfortable emotions and get more of what you want. Make a list, and the point here is to name as many as possible. We'll figure out how to filter them in the next step. All right, so once this is done, number 3, you're gonna make a selection based on these 3 criteria. Number 1, they must be within your control at every moment of the day. Number 2, they must be easily accessible, free, of course. And number 3, the most important one, they must be healthy on the long term. Stuff that makes you feel good now, but it also will make you feel good tomorrow, next week, next year, and so on. Number 4, watch this. Do more of them, more often, and be patient. Let me share with y'all my personal coping mechanism. Like, I haven't found anything more effective than this one. My thing is meditation, and I always say meditation is the new masturbation. That stuff made me experience states so blissful that porn literally shrinks into irrelevance. Like, nothing can compare, bro. Plus, it also allowed me to finally actually deal with the stuff happening inside of me instead of just escaping from it. To observe it, to learn more about myself, to release that shit, to let go. Just a personal recommendation of mine. Here's the last thing I want y'all to remember. Relapses are actually part of the journey. They make you wiser by teaching you lessons. Everything I'm sharing with you now is based on my own failure and what I've learned from it. I wouldn't be able to be here without it. And the thing is that you will reach a point where you stack so many of these lessons that it wouldn't even make sense to watch porn anymore. Like, you don't even have to use willpower, discipline, all that stuff. It's irrelevant. That's when you break free for good. So if you're a man who's struggling with porn addiction and you're just fucking tired of feeling like you're not even in control of your own actions, then you can join us in the #1 porn addiction recovery brotherhood in the world. It's called the Off Porn Academy. The link is in the description. We'll be right there waiting for you on the other side. Other than that, thank you all so much for listening. If you love my stuff, you can subscribe. I'll be very grateful, but I'm grateful for you anyway. So much love, take care, and I'll see you here soon. Bye-bye.